Introduction to the Class, Part 1. Hello, this is Daniel Addison. I'm your instructor for Symbolic Logic. In this first part, we'll just be going through the syllabus. I'll expect you to have read it. I will have sent you this document as a PDF, so you can read it yourself or pause the video to read parts of it. I won't be reading it all out. You'll see me in front of a chalkboard, actually teaching logic. I won't actually say anything about logic right now. You can read through this aim of the course section, but I'll be giving my own introduction when I'm in front of the chalkboard in later parts. But I will just talk a little bit, going through the syllabus, about the text and the assignments and what's expected of you and the exams and the quizzes and all that. So the text for this book is this one, Understanding Symbolic Logic, 5th edition by Virginia Clenk. It's very expensive, sorry about that, but you can rent it or maybe find one online. The course is entirely text-based. So if you look at the schedule that we have, we go through the book from Unit 1 to Unit 18 or 16. I'll explain what the or means, but up to Unit 16 or Unit 18, one unit at a time. A unit is a chapter, and we'll just be going through these one by one. You'll have your first exam on the first 6 units, second exam on Unit 7 to 9, but that's it. The course is completely text-based. You just read through the text. You don't have to read anything else. The exams and all the quizzes will be taken all the questions in the exams and quizzes will model the questions in the back of every chapter. So every chapter or unit has at the back a series of questions or problems which you should do and practice, and those are just the same questions as the ones you'll face on the quizzes and the exam. So entirely text-based, entirely based on this book. So get that, read that. Don't need to read anything else. There's no other materials at all, and I'll just be teaching those units one by one. Exercises. I mentioned the exercises at the back of the book. I should stress this bit first. You'll be responsible for the reading of the text. Do read the chapter before you watch the lectures on the unit. So read chapter 2 before you watch the lecture on chapter 2. I will be teaching, assuming that you have read those chapters. Excuse me. So do have read them first, or you won't really understand very well what I'm talking about. But you very much do need to both read and study the text and watch the lectures as well. It's a text that you should not be ashamed to read over and over again. I have some advice, which I'll probably say again a few times, about how to read the text. There are many places in the text where Clenk, your author, will go over it in detail, sometimes for 2 or 3 pages, how to solve a specific problem and the specific logical steps that you have to go through, basically explaining the specific thoughts you have to have in the order in which you have to have them to solve the logical problem she's working on. Do not skip over those sections. Do not read those sections quickly thinking, this is less interesting than the sort of more theoretical stuff, so I'll sort of skip this. It's those sections which really teach you well what it is you need to be able to do to answer the quizzes and do the problems in the exam. So make sure you read those sections closely. And you will probably need to read them over and over again. And because it's exactly the kind of, she presents you with the thoughts you need to have in solving the problem in the order in which you have to have those thoughts. So pay attention to them, make sure you understand each step she makes, because that's the training of the kind of thinking you'll need to be doing to solving the problems. Second paragraph here, it's in the text and assignment. It says it's essential that you do the assigned exercises. I'll be sending you a list of exercises to do, but since we're all online, what I usually have is I usually assign a few marks for handing in exercises, and I give you the points um, just for attempting the problems. We're not going to do that since it's online, so what I've done is I've just doubled the points for the quizzes. So the quizzes are worth 12 points each for this course. Usually when I teach at 6. But anyway, I do need to stress that you need to do the exercises. You don't need to hand them in, and I won't be grading them. I'll only be grading your quizzes and exams. But that's it. This is all about how you learn to do what you need to do to solve the problems is by doing those exercises. As I said, the exams and quizzes are just like the exercises, so do them. Make sure you know how to do them. It's a very good idea to have tried at least a few of the exercises for the chapter, for whatever chapter it is, say chapter 2 or chapter 3, before you watch the lecture, because in the lecture I'll be explaining how to do the exercises, how to solve the kind of problems tackled there. But if you've actually tried to do it, then your mind will be much more in the mood of much more primed to learn what I'll be teaching. So make sure you have a go at them. As I stressed before, you don't need to go outside the text at all. Everything you need to know to be able to solve the problems at the exercises will be there in the actual chapter itself. But as I say, the lectures as well, you'll see me working through how to do problems quite often. So yes, please make sure you're doing exercises. Do not make the mistake. You'll make a mistake in this course. You won't do very well in this course if you just do the reading and don't do any exercises, right? So that's what I stress in this paragraph here. All right, I'm going to keep all the parts down to hopefully under 8 minutes or so that it's easier to upload them on YouTube. So I'll come back and start talking about the assignment in part 2.